Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Bahashim Akwadash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, the Akwath that are listening, learning, being a pillar of rest, the 144,000 and 1/3, the hopeful elect of Israel, and Brother Yashawan. And we're in a Ezekiel 38 holding pattern right now. Okay, so here we have Russia, Gog, all right, and here we have Iran, okay, and all the allies of Russia, if you will, okay, your usual suspects. You got Turkey here, you got Syria here, okay, and on this side, okay, so this is Ezekiel 38 and 7. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So this is where we're at right now. It's taken a little while for Iran, if you will, which is here, Persia, to launch their return strike, if you will. Okay, well, there's a lot going on. Russia has to coordinate, right? Make sure that Iran has everything they need. That's going on, right? We hear a lot of back and forth about how Russia is nonstop delivering weapons over there. Don't we hear that? And this is what it says: Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. That's Iran, okay. That's Turkey. That's Syria right there, okay. And that's not even from within the Middle East. This is looking from Western, not West, East Asia, if you will, Eastern Europe. Okay, so there's that. And then if we go here, okay, this is Second Ezra 15. We get to the horrible vision, right? And this is also holding things up. Okay, this is Second Ezra 15 and 28. Behold, a horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east. What east? Eastern Asia. Okay, East Asia, uh, Eastern Europe, if you will, or Slovakia. This is talking about the Middle East, if you will, what they call the Middle East, the Arab states. Okay, here you have the Arabs, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, right? But this is the part we're looking for right here. Okay, 31. This is Second Ezra 15 and 31. And then shall the dragons, we're back to the dragons. What dragons? Dragons of Arabia have the upper hand, remembering their nature of a wild man. Here's the part. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. See, what does that mean? Well, they're at odds right now. All right, they're all Arabs except for the Carmanians, the Persians right there. But they're all Arabs, but you got Sunni, you got Shiite. They're feud, right? But if they come back, conspire together, if they work together on this and forget their differences, right? They're going to be stronger in numbers. So anyway, that's what the problem going on over there. What's taking so long? because these other Arab states are like this. Okay, yeah, we're done fighting amongst each other. It's time to come back together. So we're gonna watch Skeletor right here, full spectrum, right? Because it seems like I'm just kind of blabbing, which I am. But this is an hour ago. What's the first thing he's gonna say? First thing he's gonna say is, Vlad, right? Vladimir Putin is doing this. He's being thou prepared, preparing for himself and all that are assembled unto him. That's what Skeletor here, Brad, is about to say. All right. Full spectrum survival 1 hour ago. Emergency action, blackout coming. EMP weapons in use. That's huge right there. You know he's talking about. Well, let's see what he's talking about. Take it away.
So it looks like Russia believes that Israel and America has gone too far. They're also saying.
See, right there. Russia's enemy is who? Number one enemy would be the United States. The big and the little Satan, right? That's what the real fight is about. Okay? East versus West. Anyway, take it away.
That what we have done with Ukraine has passed the line of world war, and Russia is prepared to react accordingly, giving the United States a taste of its own medicine. We are starting to see reports now that they will begin arming the anti-American rebels that are both inside the USA and in other countries.
That's huge. Okay, so Russia's about to start handing out weapons, including nukes, if you will. If Iran didn't have nukes yesterday, they have them today. Pretty sure that they've always had them, but if they didn't, the homies got some over here that they're ready to make sure that we're up to standard with. Okay, and we're watching, and we just read that in Ezekiel 38. Be thou guard unto them, and make sure they have everything they need.
There is an expectation among circulating intelligence operators that we will see an attack on American citizens here in just weeks. Now, I also expect some sort of infrastructural sabotage or attack to take place in America, whether that's some sort of EMP device, maybe some sort of water.
Let's look at that real quick. Okay, because that's right here too. Okay, it's right here. Slovakia. The second Ezra 15 and 30. Also, the Carmanians, who are the Iranians, raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them. With who? With the dragons. And shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. That's talked about right here. That Brad was just talking about. Okay? And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them. In their host shall be, and in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. It's talking about right here. All right. So yeah, they are going to get got. You know, here and there. Take it away.
Problem. Could be a power issue. We could see more train derailments, maybe more food warehouses.
EMP, like he said. All right, and darkness is coming.
Down. When you start to put all of these different pieces of what is actually happening into a pot and you start to look at it, when you see the forest beyond the trees, that's when you say, okay, this is a bigger picture than anyone is alluding to in media, because they know that once you realize what's happening, the people, you, are going to start being a little bit more scared. And you're going to say, okay, this is really bad. Your neighbors are going to freak out. You know what happens when people have a tornado warning. You know what the Florida man is like when a hurricane is coming to Florida.
A hurricane. So a bunch of horrors out here right now. But the point is that, okay, he's talking from the Russian perspective right now. He's not even speaking from the Middle East perspective.
Did you know this about?
Slocky, let's get a little more bread here.
Everybody who should have had batteries, who already should have had their radios, who should have had their non-perishable foods, who should have had a self-defense weapon, they start boarding up their houses with big 2x4s and pieces of plywood. They start guarding outside of their front door, sitting on their porch with shotguns. They don't realize how bad things are until it's too late, but they're prepared. They sit back and okay, I'm going to weather this storm. I'm going to see what happens. So for you and your family, now is the time to be in that weathering the storm phase, because the warnings about what's coming are starting to get a little bit scarier. PepsiCo, they have admitted.
Okay, so he just went down the Russian lane, right? He said, hey, they don't appreciate Russians. See what you're doing between Israel and the United States. We see what you're up to. See what you're doing in Ukraine. You're funding them and pushing them, and you're backing them. And you're trying to do that over in the Middle East as well. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's get a first-hand account from these guys right here at Open-Minded Thinker. And he's going to say it from the Arab perspective. Let's see. Okay, so this is Open-Minded Thinker 50 minutes ago. It's a little more than that now. A couple hours probably. Open-Minded Thinker show. Even Iran couldn't believe key Arab allies abandon Israel as Iran plans to strike back. Now, what does this say? Key Arab allies abandon Israel. Okay, so the Saudis and the Jordanians and all of that oil friendship that they had, right, is going to the wayside. Going where? Going back where? We just described it right here. Okay. A horrible vision, the dragons of Arabia, and if they shall turn themselves, if they stop fighting and stop being at odds, Sunni, Shiite, all of that, they were still Arabs conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then shall these be troubled. Okay, so they're scared now. What does it say? Key Arab allies abandon Israel. They're all coming back together, these Arabs. See that? Right off the pages.
In a significant geopolitical shift, several key Arab nations have distanced themselves from Israel amid escalating tensions with Iran following the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh, a prominent Palestinian political leader. This development marks a dramatic change in the regional dynamics, with Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Egypt taking unprecedented stances that could reshape the balance of power in the Middle East.
Okay, so what's going on is all these players, right, in the Eastern European region, which is the Ukrainian-Russian war, everybody right now is they should be attacking and bombing and strafing the ship. What is Ukraine doing invading Russia right now? That's crazy. Okay, but cooler heads right now are prevailing. Okay, Iran hasn't struck. They haven't attacked nobody, but they got everybody waiting and scared. Okay, what's the next shoe to drop? All right, what's going on is everybody is choosing sides carefully because the big war is about to start. Okay, they're not rushing to do this little tit for tat little thing. Everybody's choosing the proper side. Okay, that's what the holdup is about. The holdup is about we're going to see who fires on Israel here in a minute. If it takes another week, if it takes another 2 weeks, let's see all the countries that are doing the firing, right? Because things are changing right now.
The assassination of Ismail Haniyeh has sent shockwaves throughout the Middle East, igniting a wave of condemnation and setting the stage for potential conflict. Haniyeh, a leading figure in Palestinian politics, was seen by many as a symbol of resistance against Israeli policies. His death has been perceived by Iran and its allies as a blatant provocation, crossing a significant red line. Traditionally, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Egypt have maintained complex relationships with Israel, often balancing their strategic interests with regional and international pressures. However, the recent assassination has prompted these nations to re-evaluate their positions. They have collectively condemned the act and pledged to remain neutral, a stance that has been met with both support and criticism. Qatar, known for its independent foreign policy, has often played a mediating role in regional conflicts. Its decision to distance itself from Israel in this context reflects its commitment to regional stability and its long-standing support.
So as you can see, things are changing right now. Okay, those ties are breaking up. Has to do with oil, has to do with the petrodollar, and all of that is out the window right now. So,
Long-standing support for Palestinian rights. As a leading power in the Arab world, Saudi Arabia's neutrality is particularly significant, suggesting a shift towards prioritizing regional harmony over its strategic alliance with Israel. Sharing a border with both Israel and the Palestinian territories, Jordan's stance is crucial. Historically a key partner of Israel, Jordan's neutrality indicates a growing frustration with Israeli actions that threaten regional stability. Egypt's position as a regional power and its role in mediating Israeli-Palestinian conflicts add weight to its decision to condemn the assassination and adopt a neutral stance. Despite these nations' efforts to adopt a neutral position, they have faced severe criticism. Accusations have surfaced, suggesting that their neutrality is a strategic move to protect Israel while frustrating Iranian responses. Critics argue that these countries have historically acted as puppets of the West, prioritizing Western interests over regional solidarity. The deployment of anti-missile systems by Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt in the past to intercept Iranian missiles highlights the complex nature of their relationships with Israel. In April, these nations' actions effectively defended Israeli interests by preventing Iranian retaliation for the assassination of a top IRGC leader in Syria.
So let's see if they're going to do it again, and I don't think so. Okay, everybody's choosing sides in this thing. It would have been done already if these people aren't, figuring out which way that they're going to.
Raises questions about the true extent of their current neutrality. The current stance of these Arab nations could have significant implications for regional security. Should Iran decide to retaliate for Haniyeh's assassination, the likelihood of its missiles traversing the airspaces of these countries and striking critical targets in Israel increases. The ambiguity surrounding their willingness to intercept such missiles adds an element of uncertainty to the already volatile situation. Israel now finds itself in a precarious position, facing potential isolation in the region. The distancing of its Arab allies undermines its strategic depth and complicates its defense strategies. Israel must now navigate a more challenging geopolitical landscape, balancing its security needs with the necessity of rebuilding relationships with its regional neighbors.
Yeah, the oil game is switching up. I'm gonna come all the way to the back here and see if we can get some meat up out of here. All right? Yeah, because this thing is about to go down. Hey, they're still going to retaliate, but we're going to see who's going to do anything about it. If any missile interception systems are being sent, missile shields are being sent out, like they helped out last time a couple of months ago. Yeah, that's out this time. They ain't going to do that.
As an historic event, have never allowed their national policies towards Israel to be dictated by the plight of the Palestinians, and they made their own calculating, pragmatic, self-interested decisions to find a modus vivendi with Israel and in more recent years to do business with them. In fact, to this day, Saudi Arabia and Turkey sort of supply oil, involved in arrangements that supply oil to Israel. But it's their populaces which are absolutely enraged. And those leaders, particularly in places like Jordan and Egypt, are fearful that they might find themselves, the targets of a mass uprising, which would result not only in their being kicked out of office, but have their lives threatened. So they're walking a tightrope. Because on the other hand, they don't want to totally alienate the United States and the Europeans who wholeheartedly support the Israelis and which are using coercive pressure, financial especially, against a vulnerable country like Egypt and Jordan as well, to stress that, look, whatever the pressures you're under domestically, if you really go all in support of the Palestinians, you're going to suffer because we are going to crack down on it. That was the message we took to Sisi. In fact, let's recall in October, shortly after the October 7 events, Secretary Blinken went to Cairo and tried very hard to persuade Sisi to accept the Palestinians being exiled and forced out of Palestine. The United States in October supported the cleansing of Palestine.
Wow.
And the displacement into the Sinai Desert. And Sisi told Blinken, "You're nuts. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to consider it. No matter what you threaten me with, no matter what promises will come from you or the rich Gulf states about financing the resettlement of 2 million people in the Sinai." So that's the dilemma, or the self-imposed dilemma that the Arab leaders have. And they really don't know what to do.
That's crazy. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, they're trying to push those Arabs out of their land and take it from them. And now, because they're going to be displaced into these other Arab countries like Egypt, they're saying no, and now everybody's all backed up, and now it's time to fight. Okay? And they're choosing sides, so that's what we're watching right now. Okay? But what does it say? Who's going to win? Okay? This is 2 Ezra 15 and 31. And then shall the dragons, right, the dragons of Arabia, have the upper hand, remembering their nature. So at some point, the Arabs are going to win, right? This is what this is saying. 2 Ezra 15 and 33. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. So, I mean, for years and years and years, Babylon the Great has been able to control the situation, but now it's fallen out of their control. Okay, even here at home, right? Very vulnerable over here with those Venezuelans, right? They're fighting. Venezuelans are fighting in their home country and here, all right? So this whole world war thing that you see going on, right? Or if you see it or you don't, all right? Guess who is in every faction of the war? Who's fighting in Eastern Europe, in the Ukraine? That would be Babylon the Great. Who's fighting in Taiwan? Babylon the Great. Who's fighting in Korea? Babylon the Great. Who's fighting in Venezuela? Babylon the Great. Who's fighting in Babylon the Great? Babylon the Great is fighting the migrants right now, right? Are the migrants not coming over the border in great number, about to put on a uniform? Okay, mad at Babylon the Great for what they're doing in Venezuela? Of course they are. All right? So this place is surrounded on every side. All right? And its allies are turning on them as we speak. Okay? Egypt, the Saudis, Jordan, they're all turning their back right now, right? And joining up with their homies, right? Back here. 2nd Ezra 15 and 31 again. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. That's what they're doing. They're turning. They're coming back together. They're forgetting their petty differences, right? That has them divided. All right? 8 divided, not strong. 8 together, strong, right? So these apes, these dragons, if you will, are remembering their wild man nature and coming back together. So that's basically what's being said. Throughout this whole thing, really. Let's see.
V-shaped.
So
Did you know that there's
I thought Isaac Cappy killed himself. They killed him on the bridge.
V-shaped regional power dynamics, influencing not only Iran-Israel relations, but also the relationships among other key players in the Middle East. As tensions continue to simmer, the actions taken by Iran and its allies will be closely watched by the international community, with the potential for significant impacts on regional stability and global geopolitical trends. Michael Brenner is a professor of international affairs at the University of Pittsburgh and a senior fellow at the Center for Transatlantic Relations at CES Johns Hopkins in Washington, D.C. He is an active contributor to research and consulting projects focusing on Euro-American security and economic issues. His academic expertise encompasses American foreign policy, Euro-American relations,
Just say that the Arabs are getting back together. They're no longer destabilized.
and the European Union. Brenner is a prolific author, having written numerous books and over 60 articles and papers on a wide array of topics. His analysis of the current situation and the emerging unity between Shia and Sunni Muslims.
I just said that. Okay? That's where they're divided. And they've been working on that division, right? The reason that the Arabs are divided over there has to do with the petrodollar. Who's getting paid, who's not, who's got oil, who's rich, who's not. Okay? And now that whole game came to an end. All right? The oil game in the Arab states came to an end now. All right? So all of these little alliances, if you will, are coming to an end. That's why the place is destabilized the way that it is. Now, what are they going to do? Now that all of that money is at stake right now, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to come together, okay, because the old game is over now. Now we can make up a new game where everybody's included and get these devils the fuck up out of here. We don't need them anymore. This is what we're watching. And he just said that. Sunni and Shiite, the differences are they're closing up the breaches.
On a wide array of topics. His analysis of the current situation and the emerging unity between Shia and Sunni Muslims in response to Israeli belligerence is considered one of the most insightful and comprehensive evaluations to date.
I think, as Ambassador Jas Freeman explained in a video interview you did yesterday, and others, this sort of represents a manifest attempt on the part of the Israeli government, and it's not just Bibi Netanyahu and the hard right, well, it's more than hard right, neo sort of fascist in his government, to trigger a crisis with Iran that would bring the United States in on Israel's side, and that it would be American power.
It's not going to work. Okay. The game is over. All right. The Israeli American game of we bought off all the Arabs. That shit's over now. Now the Arabs are coming back. They're going to kick America and Israel the hell out of their backyard. We want our oil. We're going to run this shit with bricks now. All right. So that's what we're looking at. This is what's taken so long, right? When is the strike going to happen? When is the Iranian strike, right? Iran waiting to strike. What are they waiting on? Well, they're over there. Spell strike wrong. S-T-R. Why are they waiting? Because they're negotiating. Hey, dog. Hey! Iranian president urges supreme leader against directed. So they're over there negotiating. Okay? And let me tell you who it ain't going well with. News about Iran, Israel. Iran shocks Israel. See all of this? This is days. This is hours. Israel waits for Iran attack. What are they doing? They're getting their ducks in a row. Okay? This is serious. This next move is a serious move. All right? So we're just going to keep our eye on it, right? We're going to continue to watch. All right? And when somebody makes a move, then we'll filter it through the scriptures, right? Be vigilant. Go out right here. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right? And this is very true. Okay? He's waiting, he knows. All right? They might do a preemptive strike. They keep talking about. So just, stay patient. Head on a swivel, stay patient. We'll see what this devil does next, all right? So with that, we hope that the elect will edify you, brothers and sisters. Shalom.